once again to our weekly show called We Connect. Well, contract farming came to South India about 8 years ago. And one of the success stories that's related to contract farming is that of Mani and Vijayalakshmi Chinnasamy, both of whom are our guests here today. They took contract farming one step further, converting it into a dream for lots of farmers in this part of the country as well as for themselves. Thank you both of you for being here today. Mani, let's start with you and explain to us what contract farming is.
Way back in 99 or early 2000, India was getting into the multi-fiber agreement, the GATT agreement was on, and we were feeling that at that point of time, India was opening up too soon and the farmers were unprepared. And that point of time in Tamil Nadu, we had almost 50% of the textile mills of the whole of India in the south.
Yeah.
And these mills were getting cotton from all across India. Almost our consumption was 65 lakh bales, whereas Tamil Nadu was hardly growing more than 3 lakh bales.
Right.
So we felt there is a disparity. And when there's an opportunity to grow cotton here, why is that not being done? So we being handling cotton for 3 generations, we felt we can do something out of our own experience that we gained. And we started the movement where the farmers in India are very resource poor and very small holders. So we said, why don't we integrate them into groups? This is group farming basically. I wouldn't call it a corporate farming model because we cannot do it with small holders. We have to find a system where we can put them together and grow something for you.
Right.
So that was a concept that we took it very earnestly and seriously. We formed self-help groups amongst farmers and we gave them the resources, kind of bank finance at very affordable rates. We gave them farm service, which was literally the extension services were not adequate enough. And we had the tie-up where we had taken out the multi-layered middlemen so that the farmers got a better deal at the end of the day.
Let me switch to you, Vijay. Now, you were there in this right from day one. Did you find that the farmers were actually receptive to this whole idea? They didn't think they were being exploited in any way by the big guys?
Initially, I think there is always, people are wondering what is happening and all. But
will I be taken for a ride?
Yeah, will I be? But then we've been in this area for many years now, in Pollachi, where we stay, with the contract farming model took off. So there was always a goodwill because they knew our family, they knew the way we were working. So it was much more easier to get them together, to group them together.
Right. So Mani, the farmer got a loan with which they tilled their land and grew the cotton, and then people like yourselves actually bought the cotton back from them. Is that, in a nutshell, how it actually works?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And we didn't have any kind of binding on the farmer. He had always an exit route. It's not necessarily that he has to sell it to me. So the model didn't bind the farmer to any contract where he was forced to sell the cotton to me. So as and when he found that market price, what I offered was lower than what he could get from a competing agency, he can sell it outside, he's free to sell outside. So there was a fairness in our deal, but we made sure, because we were closer to the farmer and having built a long tradition of supply chain to the textile mills, we were confident that we could pay the better price for that any given day. So the farmers were never bound. In fact, it had gone so successful that the government even waived 1% tax because to promote this, make it more popular in Tamil Nadu.
Right, but having said that, then why in the world did you go away and move to Karnataka? Because most of your work is out of Karnataka, most of the contract farming. Can I ask you that? Can I prod you?
Basically, it was all very emotional that we got into the program, and we tried to replicate every other agency's role. We tried to play the banker's role, we tried to play the insurance company's role, we tried to even play the government's role. So we took so much into our own field, but there were times that brought some changes. There was an acute labor shortage, and the industry started pulling farm laborers into their own fold. Okay. And the policies of the government also made that it is not viable to do agriculture
right.
Because there are industries coming up all around our Tamil Nadu rural economy.
Especially around Coimbatore.
Oh, right, okay, because of course that is the textile capital really of the south. So has it worked well in Karnataka then, Mani?
Thing is, today I would say the farmer in Tamil Nadu or a textile weaver in Tamil Nadu, like even me, a third generation cotton handler, we always had an identity crisis. we felt that we need to go out because we always felt insecure about our own heritage. You know, the farmer in Tamil Nadu or a Vivo would say, I don't want my next generation to be in
To
the
be a
same,
farm, yes, right.
because there's an identity lacuna there.
Mm.
So I, 3 generations into cotton, having handled extra long staple cotton, we didn't want to let go. But we always search for an area where we could sustain our model of contract farming, because this is something which is beautifully worked and it was looked up as an innovative model of contract farming. So we moved to Karnataka, where there are traditional farmers and there is no industry around, but they stuck to what they did beautifully well, and it was a beautiful area near Kabini Reservoir,
Right.
where the land is fertile and they grew extra long staple cotton.
Right. So let's move on now to the fact that what you're doing is organic farming. Now, organic is the buzzword around the world, you know. I mean, what was it that actually prompted you and your family to actually go that route? Mani?
Organic, when we wanted to move out, and this was the only area where I could find the cotton that I liked, and this is an ecologically sensitive area because it's the Nilgiri biosphere, the Kabini and the wildlife and all
Yeah.
that. And this area was very fertile, and after farmers done this monocropping, they had to again go into chemical farming to sustain their yields. And after chemical farming didn't give them the results, they went into the biotechnology cotton. But me going there and doing the same thing what I did in Tamil Nadu didn't make sense at all, because there was an ethical question there. Do I need to promote mass farming in a chemical based thing or in the technology based?
So you have a moral issue with this, Mani?
Yes, I had an ethical issue.
Really,
with
it's an
that.
ethical issue.
We also had, at that point of time, our children were growing up, and we had a visitor who came one day to our home, and he said, you have all this land, are you growing so many coconuts, what are you growing for yourself? You know, that's when realization struck. We were growing everything for everybody else but for ourselves. So that's when we started organic at home.
Okay.
So we started growing our own vegetables, our own milk, organically.
So the organic bug caught both of you, right?
And also so, because a farmer, when the markets opened up, there was too much international aberration in the prices. So we thought the formula would sustain if there was an extra premium built into
Right.
his price.
So Mani and Vijay, we'll come back and talk about the economics of this whole issue. But don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back with you here on We Connect. Welcome back to We Connect. Vijay and Mani, third generation cotton growers. Is this a feel-good factor for you, that you think there is really a sense of achievement?
I feel very contented now than before, because it's just not getting into organic cotton because it's most selling concept today. It's more about ecology also. We don't call it organic cotton anymore, we call it Appachi Ecologic Initiative.
Right.
Because the cotton is grown in an elephant corridor, and the cotton is value added in a tiger country. Annamalai Tiger Reserve is just about a stone throw away from my field. We run a school, and this school children are taught about conservation, and Shekhar Dattatri is associated with us, the tiger filmmaker.
Right, yes, absolutely.
So there is an ecologic connect. The cotton trail connects these two locations, and we want to bring focus to the area. So the whole package is so evolved on its own that it's not just a business model. It's also contributing to the ecology, to the weaver. It's all about an inclusive growth. The environment, the weaver, and the farmer together, including the consumer.
Right. Within your own family, I now need to ask you, your father's generation, the generation before that, how has that generation, the earlier generation, actually taken to this? Do they see these as newfangled ideas?
My father, till a point of time, was very
Skeptical?
nervous. He would come and ask, okay, are you started making money? You know,
Yeah.
that's a big.
I would imagine so.
How much was the sale? For him, at point of times, it took as if it's an NGO mode, that we
Project.
are going into an NGO too deep, and you would always think, okay, this is going to be a social service, something like that.
Let me put away this money. I mean, let me forget about it, right?
Looking at the response, see, for 3 generations, I wouldn't have had so much contact built up just this past 1 year, where kind of people that have walked into our lives and the kind of hand-holding I had, It was amazing. Just the other, I would say, Ratna Krishna Kumar of the Taj group, she had come with one person. She was having a lunch in a palm leaf in our family. She was nudging me, said, "You know who she is?" I said, "Who is she?" Eleanor Port Capola. I said, "Who?" And she says, "This is Godfather man's wife." And
Yes, okay, Francis Ford Coppola, yeah, right.
and she's sitting there and having, and there was this Shibori exponent, Yoshiko Ward, and we had people walking in just after this Ethicus was launched, and this is amazing.
Let me ask now, going forward, my question again, where do you see this, where do you see it evolving?
I think the wish is to sustain the farmers. That's the prime goal, because we are all into contract farming, committed to the farmer.
Right.
Whatever they should grow, it should sell in any form, be it Ethicus clothing or some other form of cotton fabric. So I feel this is just a platform for designers to step in and do stuff of their own, because we have created a weaver studio where their designs are going to be safe, their colors are there, the yarns is there. So we think this is going to be a platform for everybody to pitch in. It's not just the Ethicus brand alone.
Right.
I think the time is right. There are more innovative designers coming in and looking for some green products which they don't get elsewhere.
Right.
And to work with the weavers down the line, it's very complicated, as we realize when we walk the path. And now we have put up a studio with 42 hand looms, and it's offered for people who can come and work with us.
Right. So how much land is actually being cultivated in this contract farming method?
We started with 50 hectares, and now it's grown up to 200 hectares totally certified, because it takes 3 years for a farm to convert itself from conventional agriculture to contract farming and organic farming.
Okay.
Now we have more interest in farmers where 1,500 acres is in the first year of organic cultivation, and if they sustain themselves for 3 years, they will all join in. Maybe we are looking at 2,000 acres within about 3 years' time now.
Right. Did it take a lot of persuasion on your part? Is it that the yield is less? Is it that the yield, takes longer? Explain that to me.
Actually, it's the other way around. Most of Indian smallholders are organic by default, because they cannot afford the chemicals, and it's
That's
only
a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only our job was very made easy. Only thing that they needed was the actual marketing support and the assurance that somebody would be there for them to lift the cotton. That's what we played, and we didn't even offer money to him. We didn't offer any kind of inputs to him. They said, be there when we have to sell the cotton, because the distress sale is something which is very unfortunate in the Indian rural segment, and that's what the success model happened. We partnered with them. We shared the certification cost with them. We do even today. And it was very easy in that format, because they don't see us as givers, they are equal partners. That's the platform we have created for
Right.
them.
Is it very expensive for certification? Explain that to me.
Certification is definitely expensive, but when the volumes grow, then the numbers come in and the certification becomes affordable.
Right. Well, Vijayalakshmi and Mani, you sure have a success story on your hands, and I don't mean Ethicus. I really am talking about contract farming, because I think that's such a great way to go forward. Let me thank you very much indeed for being here with us. Thank you so much, Mani. Well, that's all we have time for on We Connect this week, but don't forget that we'll be back with you next week at the same time. So until then, you keep watching NDTV Hindu. Take care, and bye for now.